In the fall of the year 1131, we chased the rugged remnants of the Frankian army from their siege of Montpellier. They attempted to flee north, yet in the forests of Gévaudan they were slowed down and harassed by my brother's irregulars, allowing our main force to catch up to them. The battle was short, fierce and bloody, but one-sided. Our infantry did the heavy work in the dense trees, their shields and axes a moving wall of steel. We lost 90 of ours, yet counted over 600 of theirs dead. The arrival of the Kaiser's troops seemed to have broken their spirit, and the French did not return to give battle. Thus, as the last castle in Foix had been surrendered, messengers arrived from the king, offering his surrender and acceptance of our claim on Languedoc. Now the real work begins. My children have taken ill, as have many others, from that last vile excretion of the evil we had by now narrowed down to the forests of Albi. Many of the nobles are rebellious, and already we had to expunge adulterers and fornicators. Duke Dumonge and his wife were found dead in the castle, their quarters littered with filth and unspeakable images and implements. We declared officially that it was the drink that did them in, yet we knew from the state of their bodies that their souls surely must rest in hell. I have returned to my books and to look after our children. I pray every night for the Lord to lift that demonic plague and spare the life of my young ones, but it is in the Lord's hands. We have several counts under our control that we do need to keep a bit of an eye on, like Count Pont-Guillaume of Clermont-Ferrarier, who is the son of the deceased Guillaume the Accursed of Toulouse, and who is an evil man currently controlling the relatively small county of Clermont-Ferrarier, which is technically a part of the Duchy of Auvergne. So that would be something to deal with in the future. He's a bit of a troublemaker. We've got Count Guillaume de Made of Béziers, who is rather insane. But aside from that, the most worrying people are obviously Count Pierre Bernard II of Carcassonne, who is the son of the deceased Count Dumonge, who died under very suspicious circumstances together with his wife. This man is a bit of a coward, but still he is a snake and not to be underestimated. And then, other than that, I think mostly most people are relatively decent kind, which obviously makes the fact that they are banding together to remove me all the more irritating. So it's no surprise that Guillaume de Made and Pierre Bernard the Silent of Carcassonne have banded together, and they wish to install Matilda Vasconia Albi to the throne of Languedoc, who is having a claim on, who's a vassal of Count Pierre Bernard and is having a claim on the duchy. But more worryingly are these people who are simply attempting to reduce my power and oversight of them. But we will deal with these things. I don't think any one of these has sufficient armies to deal with any kind of concentrated uprising that we ourselves cannot deal with as well. Still, for now, we have the plague going on, the consumption, bloody cough coming out of people, and that is, while it is reduced already in Toulouse, not yet gone. So we do have to see that it goes away. And Emmanuel, my master of the horse, has died of old age. Again, one of the last of the Crusaders that were taking the Holy Land. Speaking of which, let's have a look at how my sisters are doing. So Queen Elodie of Jerusalem seems to be doing all right. She has managed to. She's still at war with everybody, but so far, at least her holding in Jerusalem does not seem to have been significantly reduced. And Princess Peronella of Jerusalem is growing up, although she has become vengeful, which is not something I'm particularly proud of. And she has a brother, so that is good news. And how is Faidida doing in Apulia? Apulia seems to have been reduced in size and cut down quite a bit. So Faidida the Evil does have a fair amount of children. So we've got Judith, we've got Roger, we've got Richard, and we've got Fresson, who seems to be the only one who has picked up on her relatively large stature. So there's that. But we have to get back to the fractured empire, the fractured kingdom of France. England has a new king. King Raymond the Chaste of England has taken over control from the Andalusians, and with that, the once large dreams of the Emperor of Francia have been shattered, and everything is returning to its previous state. Although France as a kingdom is viciously fractured, and we shall see what the future holds. But for now, we have to deal with the plague with our low control in these countries. We have actually a decline due to the isolated capital. So it'll be quite important to get out of isolation as soon as we can. I'm not yet significantly reducing the military. We have released the pikemen into civil services again. That had been drafted, but the overall military force for now we're not yet reducing. We still have to pay off our debts. We'll have to see first that we get some stability and control in the areas that we are dealing with. And Heinrich, my bodyguard, has died of the consumption as well. Still, my knights, as well as my children and Ebon, my chancellor, are ravaged by this illness. Leuthold, my personal champion, has taken on the accolade, but he's a bit of a drunkard from everything that's been happening. Let's have a quick look at the accolade. So his successor would be Thwadomir, who is one of my more capable fighters. However, he's also afflicted by the consumption. So still, as long as the plague is ravaging, there is little that we can do. However, Toulouse is no longer infected, so we can actually we don't have the capital isolation running anymore. Okay, so that should actually be then helping with the. We shouldn't have isolated capital anymore because we have. Is that a personal modifier? It isn't, because we are not in isolation. That is obscure, not legends. Control. Is that happening in? Is that happening in the other states as well? No. That one. It's just Carcassonne. Oh, it might be that Carcassonne itself is isolated. That is entirely possible. So it could be that Count Pierre Bernard II has isolated himself rather than us. So we don't deal with that anymore. The flu is receding. However, at the end of my Spymaster's latest report, she pauses for a moment. There's something you should know about your Chancellor. He has many secrets, it seems. As a reminder, Ebon is currently afflicted by the consumption, and his wife Cécile has drunk herself to death. He does have two children, Adalbert and Charles, and he is the son of Charles and Elisa from my father's time. So he is apparently, he is apparently a. Oh, this puts me in a very difficult position. He is. He has a dark secret. He has become inappetitic from his consumption, but the consumption did not come out of nowhere. So it looks like Ebon, my chancellor, has fallen to the seduction of the darkness in Albi, where currently my brother is looking to root out all traces of devil and demon worship. But it seems that he has been afflicted. So, given who he is, as much as it pains me, we shall maintain this secret for now. If he survives, then he will have to deal with the consequences. But if the Lord calls him, then he will have to stand judgment to a higher court. Given the current financial situation, I will reduce the size of the somewhat depleted regiments, which will overall reduce the ongoing cost and still leave us with a good number of troops to defend our lands, should that become necessary. But we must seek to slowly regain our income. Especially that our various vassals, are paying very little to the overall upkeep of the duchy, and as such will have to see after their own counties, but we must maintain the overall force to defend it. So we've reduced that, which means we have finally paid off our obligations, and with that it's just a matter of seeing the end of that plague, which has ended sort of officially, but we still have some people in the court, especially my children, who are still afflicted by this vicious one. All right, we can. I think I'm going to complete the scholar tree here, and then we'll see where we're going next. I'm not sure theologian would be necessary, something I'm interested in. We might switch over to stewardship to potentially to just get some coin again and to begin developing our lands. But we'll see. For now, we'll stay on learning, and we have to still unlock the scholar trait. So sanctioned loopholes is done, and with that we just have to wait out the end of the plague. There was a commotion among the children. Hermesens was attempting to preach among their fellow youngsters and became a target of a small fight. That is Hermesens de Milot, who is the daughter of Louis and Matilda. And I'm not sure what she's doing on my court, but she was probably just visiting at the time. So Peronella intervened and did what she could to protect her. Well done, never back down, and she is brave. Now I do wish to impart the just trait on Guichard. So let's see, but we'll wait first until he's better. Peronella is just, impatient, and brave by herself, and it looks like her betrothed, the Prince Gerold of the Holy Roman Empire, actually has fallen ill as well. So we shall see what the future brings there. The factions seem to be shrinking, and it is only Guillaume de Made of Béziers who at this point is still trying to install Matilda as Duchess of Languedoc, and the other one as well. Meanwhile, as I lean over to pick up a scripture to study, my daughter barges into the room, interrupting my tranquil solitude. Father, you won't believe what I found out about Ethelbert. She pauses to catch her breath for dramatic effect. Okay. I think, yes, in secrets are a currency. She is a bit she is a bit on the side of understanding intrigue. So whatever she found out about her she shall use it wisely. So she will gain some opinion of me, and her education is improved as well. Well, meanwhile, we are making slow progress in Albi to root out the last remaining demon worshippers. And we do have to keep an eye on the people in our court as well, especially Ebon, who is still ill with the consumption. Charles, my best friend, has gotten married to Oda, a Saxon woman who he has met traveling through the duchy. And she is a bit of a seductress, but she is a very, very smart woman at that. So we will see what comes of it. Now I am even more, given that happy occasion, I am even more hesitant to expose the dark secrets of Ebon, who is his father and the only surviving parent. Philomena, my antiquarian, has improved the travels of Bernard de Villeron, and it has gained development growth, which is great. So it actually increases development by 0.02 per month, which reminds me, we are going to have to soon begin repairing some of these things that I carry, because they will start breaking. I think the lucky rabbit's paw, that is, it's +2 prowess, so I'd rather keep that. 38 coin to repair it. We're not quite there yet, so we shall see that that gets taken care of. Philomena, my personal physician and antiquarian, whose spouse Thradomir is afflicted by the consumption, has started to break under all the strain of the recent plague, as well as caring for her husband and everybody else on court, and has become infirm. As such, she will not be able to really perform her duties very well anymore. However, out of respect for her services, we shall leave her in her positions until they are vacated the natural way. And we still have sick children to care of ourselves. Meanwhile, the Kaiser, Adalbero of the Holy Roman Empire, is calling us to war for the Duchy of Brabant, and that means he's probably going to call me Brabant being in the north. This was the last war against the French. The problem is we cannot afford. We have no coin to afford yet another war. If we were to decline, we lose quite some fame, and we would obviously offend the Kaiser. So given that, we'd have to go. We will accept, but we will only raise a small force that can a token force to join the efforts. We have assembled our knights as well as the heavy cavalry in Clermont-sur-Allier, and as much Amaury unfortunately is too old to take this. I could let my brother run Count Augier run the army, but in the end I am the most qualified to do this. So with a heavy heart, I have once again to leave matters in Toulouse in the qualified hands of others, and we shall participate as we can in that effort by the Holy Roman Empire. Now, obviously, with such a small force, despite the fact that King Benoit is still very much reeling He's still in debt, and he's still reeling from the lack of troops. He is obviously able to muster quite some troops himself. So we do have to be careful where we engage. We are too small of a force to besiege anything, but we have to live within our means for the time being. So we will see if an opportunity arises for us to engage an enemy in the open field, and then we shall potentially. County of Savoie might work, but that is a sizable force. Yeah, that's not something we can take on. So we'll move and see where we can move. We move and see where we can find an opportunity to do our part. A peasant army seems to have risen, and they seem to be hostile towards us, but they are probably also hostile towards France. So I would say, given that he is now, the king is actually trying to retake England at the same time. That's how they've seen the opportunity. That is very ambitious. You don't even control France, and yet you're trying to retake England. Good luck with that. But the peasant uprising seems to be focused on Aquitaine. Yes, so there's a peasant revolt in Aquitaine against the child duchess who is leading the country. We should not get involved in that, but we'll keep an eye out for opportunities to assist. It looks like the peasants are making their way towards the bishopric of Figeac, and we cannot be. We have to make sure that they are not getting any ideas. We have to make sure that things are staying under control. Meanwhile, Juliana de Villeron has gained the chaste trait, which is very much a positive trait, a virtuous trait for Catholics. But I feel like things are just way too busy. By God, my courtiers have been relentless in their requests lately. This work feels endless. Yet another one approaches, evidently distressed about some trivial matter. Okay. I am still at stress level 1. I could just begin spending, or I could become reclusive. No, I am the Duke. I can do this, but I do need to deal with the ongoing stress of this situation. Okay, it looks like the peasants have no further interest in our lands, so we shall leave them be. We were just here to make sure that they were not causing any trouble. But there is the army of Armagnac that has been raised, and at Armagnac Castle. So I think we shall take these on and do our share here to participate in the war and make sure that this doesn't join any larger force. Okay, they are. Let's see if we can catch them before they move up. Before they move off into the hills. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So let's return and see where they. Okay, they have escaped into the mountains. They saw us coming, so. That means we are going to return to where we are and look for yet another opportunity. Meanwhile, the peasants have grown in number significantly, and the main French army in the north has now returned by the looks of from England, and is about to be faced by the armies of the Holy Roman Empire. We cannot really do much to chase down this army in the mountains. That is, with heavy cavalry, probably a terrible idea against pikemen. that would severely reduce the effectiveness. So they know exactly what they're doing, but I don't think we can necessarily easily besiege them. So Armagnac, we'll make sure that Armagnac does not get out. Otherwise, we shall leave them in there. We shall leave them in their mountain fortress at Tarbes. Ebon has died, and we are putting the same story out that we have put out for the former duke and his wife. We say that he drank himself to death, but in the end, it was his demonic affliction that has done him in, and at least that spares us the heartache of having to tell my best friend that his father was a villain and an evil person. So that, however, means that my chancellor is no longer. So we do need somebody with a good diplomacy. And my brother, Count Antoine, I think is the best man for the job. So we shall appoint him, give him a position in court, and with that, I think he has to concentrate on domestic affairs, keep everybody happy, and that just means. Actually, that means that Tarkulf is still afflicted by consumption as well. So difficult times, but I'm more concerned about my children because they have not gotten better yet, and I am worried that the two of them, especially my son Guichard, may not survive this. Given that the enemy has holed up in the mountains, we have sent the cavalry back and raised the huscarls instead. They should be much better suited to make their way through. The question is, can we get there without significant losses? So let's see what that will look like. We'll move up into the hills of Astarac, and then we'll see if we can move on to the enemy at Tarbes. Obviously, they will have the advantage in that location, but I think they are holed up in the mountains, but I think we can take them. So we shall take the plunge, assault up into the mountains, and do our part for the war effort with our elite heavy infantry against the enemy at the Battle of Bigorre. We're bringing 14 knights, and obviously their spearmen are in no shape to fight. So I think we will, despite the fact that they do have the advantage in that position, I think we will deal with them relatively easily. My brother, Count Antoine, we'll have to look at that in a minute, has wounded the enemy commander. We have won the battle, but we are too few to besiege them. So we shall return back to our lands and just have the victory that has been done. Our losses are relatively little, although we have lost men just to the terrain going up there. But our knights have fought well, and I think it was Count Antoine who has wounded the enemy knight Mayor Garcia. But we fought well, and we shall return to Beaumont-sur-Lez to await further developments. Meanwhile, we can take the scholar trait, and we've got that unlocked. And with that, we've got plus 15% development, which is great. So I think next up, we could just stay on scholarship. I think I'm just going to stay on scholarship, to be honest. And we'll go down a bit on the whole of body side of things. But I do also need to do something about the stress level. It is too high, and it would eventually cause my mind to break under the strain. But for now, we will have a look at how the war is going, and it looks like the war is going poorly. We have, despite the fact that we have defeated an enemy army so far, because Bologna has been taken by the enemy. But I think the friendly troops are significantly overweight. So just in pure numbers, I think there's not much of a question of the outcome of this conflict, and we have done our task. And shall remain raised in Beaumont-sur-Lèze for the time being. The first army of Gallura has landed in our lands in the south, and that means we have a new task at our hands to accost them on the field of battle and ensure that none of them return. So first, we catch them on the plains of Castelnaudary, and with them just not being organized just yet, they are in relatively bad shape. So I think this will be a very brief. Yes, this was the slaughter of Castelnaudary. We have not left one alive, and we have done what we came to do. Our knights, especially Wigerich and my brother Count Raulf, have done very well. So with that, we can once again return to the capital and await the next part. We're doing our share in. We're not getting any war score from the battles, but we are doing in our share of keeping the reinforcements away.